Where's Mike? Mike, Diane and Dementia 6. Take your time, I say, as Diane gets agitated. She raises both hands, vigorously pumps her fists, and struggles to form words. I value words so much that when our youngest daughter, Kelly, went to university, I presented her with a thick Oxford thesaurus. I insisted it would be her most valuable text. Words help me understand life. They assist me when I probe contentious issues. Employing the proper word is vital in my poetry and other writing. Rudyard Kipling suggested words are the most powerful drug used by humankind. Words can incite people to do some stupid things. Or brave things. I cannot imagine the horror involved in misplacing words, watching them slowly drift away like a receding tide. I do not think that I could cope with that terrible challenge. I witnessed that process in stroke patients when I was in rehab at Shaver Hospital in St. Catharines. This is the situation now facing Diane. It must fill her with fear and dread. Primary progressive aphasia is a rare nervous system syndrome that affects one's ability to communicate. People have trouble expressing thoughts and understanding or finding words. Symptoms begin gradually, often before age 65, and get worse. You can lose the ability to speak and write and, eventually, to understand written or spoken language. How cruel is that? This condition progresses slowly. Thus, one may take part in daily activities for several years after the disorder's onset. Primary progressive aphasia is a type of frontotemporal dementia, a cluster of related disorders resulting from the degeneration of the frontal or temporal lobes of the brain. This includes brain tissue involved in speech and language. Atrophy is associated with the presence of abnormal proteins. Brain activity or function in affected areas might therefore be reduced. Symptoms vary, depending on which portion of the brain's language areas are involved. There are 3 types that cause different symptoms. Semantic variant signs and symptoms include difficulty comprehending spoken or written language, particularly single words, trouble comprehending word meanings, and struggling to name objects. Logopenic variant involves difficulty retrieving words and word substitutions, frequent pausing in speech while searching for words, and difficulty repeating phrases or sentences. A non-fluent agrammatic variant involves poor grammar in written and spoken form, trouble understanding complex sentences and using grammar incorrectly. Door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3, none of which we wish to be opened. I guess Diane suffers from the logopenic variety, door number 2. People with primary progressive aphasia eventually lose the ability to speak and write and understand written and spoken language. Some develop substantial difficulty forming sounds to speak, a problem called apraxia, even when their ability to write and comprehend is not significantly impaired. As the disease progresses, other mental skills, such as memory, can become impaired. Some develop other neurological symptoms, such as problems with movement. With these complications, the affected person eventually will need help with day-to-day care. People with primary progressive aphasia can also develop depression or behavioral or social problems as the disease progresses. Big surprise. Other problems might include blunted emotions, such as unconcern, poor judgment, or inappropriate social behavior. Maybe there's hope for Diane in politics. Afflicted by 2 cruel diseases, I try my best to help keep her as happy as possible. I constantly remind her of good times, even sing loudly to her, "Be my love, forever." I repeatedly tell her all day long, "I love you," and, "You are my favorite." I hug and squeeze her. She sighs and seems to enjoy this attention. Initially, I was hoping for 2 good years, which would take us to 80 and make us octogenarians. I don't know if we have that long. Sometimes, I get depressed, and I cry when she is not watching. I think about taking Diane for a drive, revving the car up, and heading for a concrete abutment or a tree, gripping her hand as in the movie, Thelma and Louise. She doesn't want to be institutionalized. She has made that clear to me. She is brave. She says she doesn't know what's happening. I know there's something wrong, but I don't know what it is. She constantly writes notes to herself on a pad. Pictures are located everywhere, on every tabletop. She shows the pictures to me, and we reminisce about each scenario. She lost her credit card, so I need to be with her when we purchase any items. She can't remember our phone number or address. I have been through many crises in my life, but this is the toughest, even tougher than what happened to me in Greece. When I woke up one morning and could not move my body. At least I could speak. It hurts. Our doctor in Niagara lamented that we all lived too long. He might be right. This is a YouTube video based on my Facebook entries on dementia. I welcome your thoughts and prayers, likes and suggestions, particularly if you are engaged in similar struggles.